Hi, everyone. It's Shivani Gupta here from Ask Shivani. It is so lovely to be here and announce that the doors to the Packwoman Mastermind are finally open. I only open this particular program 4 times a year, and so it's so fabulous to be here with you talking to you about it. Now, let me just talk to you about my mission and I guess why I do what I do. One of the things that I experienced growing up in a great Indian family with a lot of support, but also a lot of focus on education, was to be able to study really hard. I started my career as an engineer. And one of the things I noticed is that I didn't really enjoy all the aspects of it. I enjoyed some of the technical sides of it, but I wanted to deal with people. I wanted to get into management and leadership roles, and those opportunities were often very limited for a young, particularly female, entering that. And so over my career, over the 10 years that I spent in corporate life, moving from an engineer into leadership and management roles, and often the only female having to come across a fair bit of racism, but also sexism and certainly ageism. One of the things that I experienced in those 10 years was really how important it is to manage your confidence, but how important it is to engineer your own career, because leaving your career to other people is probably not the right answer. So when I left the corporate space 18 years ago, my goodness, almost 20 years ago, one of the things I realized is that what I really wanted to do was to be able to help other women engineer their career and engineer their confidence. And so over the last 18 years, I have had the privilege to mentor over 1,200 women, both emerging leaders and women who are in management and sometimes leadership roles, but then often struggle with why they've got there. And so there's this notion of, do I belong here? Have I earned the right? And this confidence that constantly falters. And this imposter syndrome that so many of us women have. I know that I have it and I experience it from time to time as well. And it's not that I don't experience that, and just because I'm talking about it today and I share it with a lot of people, it's more about the fact that you have to have the strategies to be able to deal with it. And so in the Packwoman Mastermind that the doors open today, it's only open for 8 days. I only open those doors 4 times a year. And one of the things we talk about, it's a live 12-month program with me. You also get access to everything that I've pre-recorded beforehand. But really the idea of it is to deep dive into what happened to your confidence when you were younger. What happened to your confidence in those moments where you've actually lost your confidence, and then being able to work out how we actually have strategies to combat that. And one of the things that I've done over the last 18 years is I noticed that there are some themes that come up over and over and over again. One of the things I wanted to also do is offer you to attend my free masterclass tomorrow. So if you go to the website askshivani.com/masterclass, you'll be able to register for free for a class tomorrow at 12 p.m. And if you can't make it, I'm so happy to send you a copy of the slides and a copy of the whole 3 tips to engineer your career in confidence that I'll be going through in a lot more detail than I am today. And so over the 18 years of mentoring women, one of the things I've noticed is that there are some common themes. One of those common themes is there are people that come out of nowhere that somehow don't like us, and they become very challenging people to be able to deal with. This is a strategy that we as women and leaders in leadership roles must work out, because challenging people are going to be everywhere. I've also worked with a number of women, and I've done that too, where I've avoided certain challenging people. And I always call it that the universe just keeps sending them back to me over and over and over again. Sometimes they're my boss. Sometimes they're somebody that works for me. Sometimes they're my family member. Sometimes they're a friend. These challenging people do not go away. One of the concepts we talk about in Packwoman Mastermind is that it is so important to understand that philosophy, and that avoidance is not the answer. The best way that we can deal with it is to have strategies, put those strategies into place, have some support around you that work out what worked, what didn't, and keep applying it. The challenging people will continue to do that. And again, I'm going to dive into the free masterclass tomorrow. If you want to register it, it's just askshivani/masterclass, and I'll be going in those and dealing with those strategies and giving you a copy of all of those slides as well. The second thing that is a common thing that's come up over and over again is that when we've had some wounds around our confidence, whether it was our teacher that told us that we weren't fantastic at something or we were terrible at something, perhaps it was a parent, and perhaps it was someone unknowingly that basically said to you that you really suck at this or you're not very good at this. We take that to heart. So as we grow into older adults and we grow into women, I'm in my 40s, I still get triggered by some of those wounds that have been caused when I was younger. So it's so important when it comes to your confidence is to be able to understand your patterns and work out why is it that you get really upset, even though you may be a grown-up woman, maybe you're in leadership roles, maybe you're a mum to a bunch of kids. Why is it that somebody says something particular and it brings up all this hurt and all this pain from the past? So in the Packwoman Mastermind, one of the things we do is really spend a lot of time, whether you do that one-on-one in one of the sessions that you do with me, whether it is you do that in the group work that we do, but an opportunity for you to go back and uncover why is it that your confidence gets absolutely knocked out of you. For me, it just feels like I've got my bubble of oxygen and somebody says something that reminds me of something where I got really hurt, and it's like all this oxygen that just completely gets sucked out of me. And then I feel really flat. I feel deflated, literally. I feel, almost sometimes a little bit depressed around it. So we have to understand these patterns. And I want to talk about that in the free masterclass tomorrow at 12 p.m. that you can register for. And if you are interested, I would love for you to dive into that so that you don't keep carrying these things into the future, and you work out strategies in terms of being able to work out how you're going to be able to get past in the future as well. The other thing that is very, very common is that women often don't want to come across as being boastful. They don't want to come across as being, I don't want to go and tell my boss or my colleagues how good I am. I don't want to come across as being cocky. And that's a beautiful thing, to be humble. But as women, one of the things we need to absolutely do is learn how we can market ourselves better. We really need to know it's not about being cocky, but if we're sitting on this end of humbleness and we're not doing any of the work about telling people some of our achievements, perhaps even some of our team's achievements, then we are absolutely missing out. One of the things we need to do is to be able to talk about what we can do on a weekly, on a daily basis to stay at the front of mind. Now, there's that beautiful saying in marketing, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. So when it comes to our careers, how do we market ourselves a little bit better to the people that we have around us, our colleagues, maybe even our support team? And I find it really equally important to be able to market in front of your family as well. Your family needs to understand, as a female leader, some of the important things that you work on, that you're on purpose, that you're on par to be able to continue to do that as well. And the other area that's come up commonly in the last 18 years of mentoring over 1,200 women across the globe is that one of the things that we really struggle with as women is, are we working on our passions and living the life that we want? Or are we living somebody else's passions? Because we love our family, whether they're our parents or our partner or our kids, that often what we end up doing is working on other people's passions and not really our own. So in the Packwoman Mastermind program, we dive deeply into working out what it is that your passions. I take you through a model that I've researched over a number of years to be able to share with you identifying what your top passions are. I'm also going to be covering that in the masterclass tomorrow. So if you haven't registered for the masterclass, which is absolutely free, it's about 60 minutes in length tomorrow at 12 p.m., just go to askshivani /masterclass, and you'll be able to register for that. Even if you're unable to join me, I hope you can and ask me some questions, because I will be doing a Q&A, and I'll also be offering a couple of bonuses tomorrow. But if you can't make it, still register for that masterclass. and you will be able to get a recording of that. You'll be able to download the slides so that you can really look at perhaps what are some of your passions and download that model for free and look at where it is that you are not in alignment with your passions. One of the things that I know is that when we work on our passions and we are really clear about what our passions are, one of the things that occurs is that we achieve those goals faster. So if you found over the years that some of your goals you achieve really easily, and there's some goals that you don't achieve very easily, it actually could be that you are out of alignment, that your passions are not in alignment with your goals. And so to understand how to do that and be able to create that is really important. So I'll cover that in the masterclass tomorrow, and I'll absolutely be covering that in the Packwoman Mastermind as well. Sometimes when you're looking at investing, 12 months is a very long time to be able to invest in a live mentoring program with me. It's fairly deep. There's going to be a lot of content covered and a lot of reflection, a lot of journaling, a lot of application into you changing the direction of your life. So one of the things that you might want to do is just book in a free 15-minute appointment with me, which you can do through my website, askshivani.com. And what you want to then be able to do is answer so that I can answer any of your questions that you have. One of the reasons that I wanted to do is my website is called Ask Shivani. Ask me any of the questions. If I don't have the answer, I promise you that I will not make that up. But one of the things I want you to be able to do is bring a bunch of your questions to me and let me answer in terms of what's in the program, what's not out of the program as well, what's covered in it. The other thing that I want to let you know is that for the first time, seeing that we are going through this crazy period of COVID, some of you I know are doing it really tough, is that I'm also organising a retreat as part of this program. And that retreat will absolutely be free to the women that join the Packwoman Mastermind. At this stage, we're going to be running that retreat into next year, hopefully. Bunch of you that are going to be coming to this program are going to be vaccinated, so you'll be able to travel across the borders. We will be running it in Noosa, Queensland. And so for those of you that are able to come, your retreat will absolutely be included in that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that when it comes to your confidence can keep getting knocked out of you. And my experience is that when it comes to your confidence, it's often the 2 or 3 or 4 things that constantly upset us around our confidence. So I know, for example, for me, one of my ex-partners used to criticize my driving. And I would get really upset. And until I actually learned to work on that pattern of why was it that I would get so upset about it. People can say certain things to you and it doesn't bother you at all. And sometimes people can say something to you and it's just like this wound that absolutely hits you. So what is it about those patterns? And what is it about what people are saying that really constantly upset us? So I want to cover that in the masterclass tomorrow. I want to also be able to answer all your questions. So if you've got any questions in the meantime, I'm so happy to field that. You literally have to send me an email to shivani@askshivani.com. If you want to register for the masterclass tomorrow, just go to my website, askshivani.com/masterclass. Or if you just go to askshivani.com, right on the top of the screen, you will see how to register for that masterclass. If you've got any questions on the Packwoman Mastermind program that is now open officially today, I only do this 4 times a year. And if you are interested, please check it out and do that. I've just had a question saying, if people aren't vaccinated, can you still come to the retreat? Absolutely. You can come to the retreat. I'm just saying, for those of you that are worried about the fact that we're hoping that 70 to 80% of us in Australia certainly will be vaccinated, and it depends on which part of the world that you're going to be coming to join this program. We would do absolutely everything if we've got to go virtual as well, but I'd love for you to be there in person. And we are going to include that retreat as part of this particular program. All you have to do is pay for your flights and your accommodation, but the actual retreat, which will be 2.5 days in Noosa in 2022, will be paid for, which include the speakers and the program and all of your day program and your dinners as well. So I really look forward to answering any questions that you have on Ask Shivani. .com. But if you've got any questions about it, please just book in your free 15-minute consult with me. You literally just have to go to the Ask Shivani website and you'll be able to book that in with me. But I will also put that into the socials today so you can book that. I hope you have a fantastic day. I look forward to bringing you more details. Tomorrow's live, which I will be doing at 11:30 a.m. before our masterclass, is going to be why confidence is the number one thing and why we must continue to work on our confidence as women in leadership, women running around businesses, but also as mums and partners as well. I look forward to being able to answer any questions that you have. I hope in the meantime you have the most fantastic day. Bye.